Hey, everybody. Hello. My name is Kilpatrick. I'm the Developer Programs Manager at Atlassian, and I have the great job of being the track lead for the Platforms and API track, which is this is the last session today. I also run a little program called Codegeist, which about 1,000 developers joined, and we had 137 add-ons submitted for it. And in this talk, we have some of our winners, as well as some of our great partners like Envision and Six Kites, who built a Hootsuite add-on, showing off what they do. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Sarah Hunt from Envision to come up and show you how Envision and JIRA are working together.
Hello. Hey. Awesome. It automatically works. All right, so I am so excited to kick off this great add-on session with an integration that we've been working on for JIRA over at Envision. My name is Sarah Hunt. I'm a product manager, and okay, perfect. They should have given us some training before we got on here. So I'm a product manager over at Envision, and if you're not familiar with Envision, we offer a design platform that supports the entire design process from concept to code. So we offer tools for prototyping, tools for design, tools for collaboration, tools for sharing, tools for commenting, everything a designer needs to be able to support the product design process. So very similar to how developers use Envision or use Atlassian products today, using Confluence, using JIRA. It's a very similar concept with Envision, where designers are coming to Envision to support that. So a lot of people are using Envision and JIRA today. There we go. Envision and JIRA today because designers and developers collaborate. That's just a fact of life. And the way that it works today is that a lot of designers will be updating JIRA issues, and then they'll have to go and take a screenshot of what it is they're working on, add it to the issue, and then when something gets updated inside of that prototype, they have to go back and they have to update their comments, update the prototype, and it becomes a very cyclical process, but something that everyone's living with today. And we're like, hey, there's got to be a way that we can make these two things work better together. And that's what we've been working on with our add-on. So the way that this works is that you create an Envision prototype, and we have this concept of a share link, which if you use Envision, it's something you're familiar with. This link represents your prototype, and when you take this from Envision, as you would normally do today, you now have a field inside of your JIRA issue where you can paste this add-on into. And what's great about this is when you paste this add-on into JIRA, it gives you this awesome little card that has all sorts of useful information about what's going on with your prototype. And this is all dynamically updated in real time. So instead of having to go and get a screenshot, bring that over to your issue, all of this self-updates. So it gives you information about the prototype creator, when it was last updated, how many screens it contains, and there's also some really useful links that allow you to quickly dip into the prototype if you need to get more information about it. So for example, you can click and get a preview of what the entire prototype is. You can go and leave comments inside of Envision, or we have this new feature called Inspect, which is something that we've been working on for developers. And Inspect is something really cool that it's currently available to our enterprise customers, but we're working on rolling it out to everyone. So if you're a developer, you're looking through this issue, and you're like, great, I want to be able to go and get web information and code out of this, you can. So when you click on Inspect, this is going to take you to this view where, as a developer, you can get all of that really useful web information out of a prototype. So this gives you lots of really rich information like pixel widths and font information, colors. Essentially, it's kind of like a living style guide for being able to see all of the pixel-perfect information you need from that prototype in real time. And as a developer today, how this process works is that you either have to rely on the designer to go in and redline a whole bunch of information, which is really time-consuming, or as a developer, you have to go in and take apart all of the different pixels and figure out those measurements for yourself. Inspect makes it really easy to be able to get that information and copy and paste it and be able to go and use that in your code editor. So this is just a snapshot of what we've been working on. With this new integration, it makes it really easy for designers and developers to better collaborate with each other. And we're really excited about the direction that we're going in and being able to not only support designers, but to be able to support developers who are working in the world of design as well. This integration is available today. It was released a few days ago, so if you ask your JIRA Cloud admin, you can go ahead and get it installed, totally free. And if you guys want more information, we have a booth over in S12. Please come by. We have tons of stickers and people that are happy to ask your questions and are very willing to talk more if you're interested. All right, thank you.
So, next up, we have Hootsuite for Jira Service Desk. This add-on was built in Connect Week in San Diego, which if you're not familiar with Connect Week, it's a week-long hackathon where we invite some of our best add-on developers to come in and work really hard with a bunch of Atlassians to come out with amazing add-ons. So without further ado.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm Herb Morielli with Six Kites, and I'm going to talk about the Hootsuite app that we built. And we're also thank you very much for everybody that voted for us for Codegeist, and we won, and that was really cool. So real quick, Six Kites is Atlassian expert. So like a lot of folks here that are partners of Atlassian, we do the whole kit and caboodle of different things with JIRA products, Confluence, Service Desk, and HipChat, et cetera. But before this, we got going with Atlassian. We've actually been a long-term partner with Hootsuite, and we've built a number of integrations with Hootsuite, including Marketo and IBM, Foursquare, et cetera. So it made a lot of sense for us when we went to Dev Week to try to figure out how we could put these two relationships we have together. And so what I'm going to show you here is the integration between Hootsuite and Service Desk. Maybe a lot of people have heard of Hootsuite, but we're a pretty technical group here, so you may not realize what Hootsuite does is it's a social media management tool, and I'll show it to you here in a second. It's actually used by, I think, over 10 million users on Hootsuite alone. So it's a pretty big platform. And then there's this thing called Service Desk that hopefully you've heard about once or twice this week, or last day. Best to kind of get into it quickly. What the key features are is imagine the scenario, you're a social media manager, you're following your brand, and you're monitoring Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever you're doing, and you're using Hootsuite to do that, and you want to escalate that issue to customer support and say, hey, there's this tweet out here, something's happened, want to make sure you're aware of it, and then you want to follow what's going on with that particular issue in the Service Desk. So you can send a tweet or a Facebook post to the Service Desk. Then you can actually view the Service Desk and watch what's going on with that, including the SLAs around handling that support issue. And then you can actually assign it and kind of move it into projects from there just within the Atlassian suite. So I think it is roll the video. All right, so let's show it. This is Hootsuite. And there's a video going, and the cursor will move here in a moment. If I press, do I press play? It's counting. Oh. There it goes. Whoa, here we come. All right. There's a cursor here right in the middle, and what you do is from Hootsuite, you say send to Jira Service Desk. It pops up this item, which is basically the context of this tweet here. And you can edit it and modify it. And then you can select which Service Desk you're going to send it to. So this is all dynamic. We call in to your Jira instance or Service Desk instance, find the Service Desk that's associated with it. The issue types are all dynamically built out based on the Service Desk. Assignees, because not every people are assigned to different Service Desks. And clicks, and the mouse moves around for a while, and then he's going to submit it. This is actually better than live. It's still... All right. Okay, the issue's in the Service Desk. So here's like the second part of this. Now, within Hootsuite, you can actually... we'll go to Service Desk first. So here's the issue in the Service Desk. It came in just like you saw it would, on the description, the title. But we've also added in the integration over here for Hootsuite on the side of the issue so that you can actually see the tweet and the context of this particular issue that was opened up. And we can build a lot of other things in there over time. So that's where a lot of interactions, including publishing tweets right from Service Desk, will happen in the future. Now, if we go back to look at your social media manager's view, they're like, I want to be able to see this issue within the service desk. So I don't want to just have to send it, I want to be able to track it. So you can install the stream to the service desk here, and now there's all the filtering, and the service desk has been selected. I guess he's going to click on the filter here in a second. And so here you select what you want to see in the stream and apply that. And now you have a stream view, and one of the issues that was created and added in, of course, are there. And all of the typical stuff that you would expect to see in a service desk issue, SLAs, type, priority, all show up. And then you can follow it from there. And you can link out, use the link button there to jump out to the service desk. So that's the integration. In terms of what's coming next with it, we can add custom fields so that as somebody sends it from Hootsuite into the service desk, they can assign a sentiment. This is a positive, negative thing. And then that can be different workflows that happen based on that and assignees based on the sentiment. The ability to publish, I mentioned, so that you can actually draft a tweet back to that person, the customer service person can, and draft it as a tweet and then hand it off in the workflow so that it can be published directly back out to Twitter or Facebook from there. And then adding comments within service desk where there's a discussion going on about that issue, and that's actually showing up also in Hootsuite, so you can see the full conversation happening in service desk right from within Hootsuite. So that's our app. Thank you.
Thank you, Herb. Pass the clicker to the next one. Next up, we have Nelson from Top Docs. Top Docs is a really interesting add-on. I just want to say Six Kites won our best business team add-on for Codegeist last week. So congratulations to Six Kites for winning that. And Top Docs was the winner of our Ship It Live at Atlas Camp back in May as one of our best add-ons there. So without further ado.
Thank you, Luke. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here and for watching this amazing add-on so far. Top Docs, I'm Nelson, founder of Top Docs, and now we are here to present Top Docs add-on for HipChat. How many of you use HipChat? Well, quite a few. That's cool. So usually you share files on HipChat, right? You click the plus button, you upload them, then the colleague reviews them, then you download them, then you upload again, and you know it. So you need to find the files. It's a pain because you need to find them, you need to share them, track versioning, you need to wait for uploading, downloading, and when you have a bunch of files shared into a room, you have a hard time to find it. So it looks something like this, right? You go to your desktop, this is Dropbox folder, you look for a file, you find it, it's there, you drag to HipChat, you upload it, you wait. It's a small file, so it's fast, but if it's a big one, it could take a while. And then you have a lot of files after a few weeks of collaboration in a room, right? So it must be a better way. And if you want to see what file is there, you cannot preview them. So there is no support for other files than pictures inside HipChat. So that's why we are trying. Now there is a better and faster way with our add-on. So if you want to share files with our add-on, you can find the files directly inside HipChat. You can share that file with one click to the room, and it can be of any size, and it will take a second or two to share. And after you have a bunch of files shared into a room, you can just search for them quickly. This is the add-on. You can connect almost any cloud storage is out there: Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive for Business, Box, you name it. Ignite, we added support for Ignite as well. And you can navigate for your files right there. You can search for them. You can see your folder structure the same way you have into the cloud. All of this without leaving HipChat. You just select there to share to the room, and boom, there you have the file shared into the room. And you can even preview it to see if that's the right document there. So now let's imagine that someone edit that document in Dropbox, OneDrive for Business, wherever your company uses, and someone is working on that in Word. This is Microsoft Word for showing, and is editing the document on his desktop. And one of the cool things is we keep all the files shared to the room updated. So every time you try to see what's pinned into the room will always be the latest version. So no more upload, download files and versioning inside HipChat. You'll have all what you need right there, latest version, always. But now there is more. What's more? This week, we are releasing HipChat server support. So no longer, you can install our add-on if you run a HipChat server. Email attachments, what does that mean? You can connect your Gmail account or wherever email server as long as it supports IMAP protocol. So you can connect your email, and then you have your email like if it was Dropbox or something. So you can navigate throughout your attachments and share to the room right away. So if you have a report or a file attachment from a client or a partner, you want to share to your team, it's one click away. So it's really fast and easy. And more than that, we are really proud to announce as well that we now support access for on-premise file servers. So if you have Windows shares inside your company, you can connect that to our add-on and share files like if it was a Dropbox thing. So all the cloud magic into the file servers and on-premise servers. So this is Docs Addon for HipChat. Hope you enjoy. Try it for free. Thank you.
Thank you, Nelson. Okay. Next up, we have Tobias from K15T. K15T is one of our longtime partners with Atlassian. They are a platinum sponsor here with Summit. And I'd like Tobias to show you what he's got.
Hey. So today, I'm speaking about how to improve your teamwork in JIRA using Backbone Issue Sync. Or, as I would say, I'm telling the love story of Liz and Josh. So first of all, let me introduce you to Liz and Josh. Liz, she's working in a huge hardware company and using JIRA in her daily business together with her team to managing all of her hardware projects. Josh is using JIRA software, using agile sprints together with his team, working on his software projects. So when Liz and Josh met first at an Atlassian user group, it was like the perfect match, so they decided to do business with each other. However, both of them love their own JIRA instance. They love working in their own projects with their own security, their own workflow, with their own issues. So they wanted to integrate and they had to come up with a solution. Last year, they thought about, well, let's export our issues on a regular basis to a CSV file, send it by mail, check out the changes, do a manual import, and they thought they could work like that together. However, it worked for some issues, but now they're integrating a lot and doing a lot of business, so it's really time-consuming. The whole approach is really error-prone, and they never ever speak about the same information at the same point in time. So please do not try this one at home, because frustration will be guaranteed. So Liz had a great idea to check out Atlassian marketplaces, which is always a good idea, and she found an add-on called Backbone Issue Sync for JIRA. And it looked like this one could solve her problems. So Backbone Issue Sync for JIRA allows you to synchronize issues of all kind of issue type, let you synchronize system fields like summary and description, all kind of custom fields, comments, attachments, and you can even map workflow states to each other. Furthermore, the setup was really simple because it supports all of the different JIRA editions, all of the JIRA deployment models, so it works for server, data center, and cloud, and it supports a lot of different communication channels like HTTPS, email, and file used for the integration between those two JIRA instances. So they decided to give Backbone a try, and today Liz and Josh are using Backbone in their daily life. So Liz set the whole thing up. She created a new integration. She had to map those instances to each other following our wizard, select the two projects, and created a basic setup. Next, she had to do was configure the issue types she wanted to sync with Josh. In this case, she wanted to share subtask and task with him. Also, she had to map some fields, like the summary and the description field. But Backbone also supports mapping of very complex fields. And sorry that it's now so fast in the video. So you can map components, option fields, and whatever. Just come to our booth and I will show you slowly. So comments are supported, attachments are supported, and there she goes. She publishes the integration, and it's running. So today, whenever she creates a task, in this case for a USB controller project, writing some description, attaching an image, how it should look like, and creating the issue, this issue is directly available at Josh's site. As soon as he has a look at his activity stream, he can find the summary, the description, the image. He can use the regular comments to now work in his own project, but still collaborate with Liz. And Liz, of course, sees this comment when she refreshes the issue again. So please say hello to Liz and Josh's latest project. We call it the RocketCon, and USB controller. You can get it at our booth at P2. So feel free to visit us. And of course, I can give you a really slow demonstration of Backbone issue sync for JIRA, how we can use JIRA without borders across companies. So thanks a lot.
Pass it on to the next one. So next up, we have Elevator for JIRA. Elevator for JIRA's got a little bit of a unique story. Elevator won our Codegeist category for newcomer, and we let Keith here know that he won on Monday last week on October 3rd. He then had an awkward meeting with his boss on October 4th and got on a plane to be here, not knowing that he was coming to Summit until Monday. So, and then I also asked him to present. So with that, I'd like to see what he's got for Elevator for JIRA.
Thank you, Luke. Great to be here, everyone. Going to share a bit about what we've been up to. It's been a bit of a whirlwind ride, so very happy to be here. So I'm going to kick things off by talking about issue assignment in JIRA. So there's two generally accepted patterns for how you can assign an issue to someone in JIRA. The first is you can directly assign an issue to someone in JIRA. So the upside of this is it gets directly to that person. The downside is you need to know who you want to assign that issue to. The other pattern, and this is a pattern that Service Desk implements really well, is the queue-based pattern. You can create an issue, it goes into a queue, and someone will be sitting at the end of that queue, they'll pick it up, deal with it, and get back to you. So the downside of this pattern, though, is it's reactive. It requires someone to be sitting on the end of that queue waiting for your issues to arrive. So there's certain scenarios. IT incident management is a great example where you've got a ticket that needs to be dealt with immediately, but you don't necessarily know who the right person is right now to be dealing with that. And so what you need is you need smart issue assignment for teams. You want to be able to pick a team, send the issue to that team, and you want to know that that issue will be assigned to the right person immediately so that they can start dealing with it. And that's what we've built with Elevator for JIRA. So Elevator for JIRA gives an integrated issue escalation experience within JIRA. Administrators can define on-call rosters and manage those rosters. Users can then escalate JIRA issues to on-call teams. Elevator for JIRA will figure out the right person who is on call, and it will assign the issue to them automatically and then use email and HipChat to keep everyone up to date. So let's do a bit of a demo of what that looks like. So we're going to create a new on-call roster here. So we'll create a roster for our database admin teams. Everyone loves their DBAs. So we can associate this roster to projects, so only these projects will be able to escalate to this roster. You can delegate administration so that people can self-manage their own rosters. So now we're going to put a few people on call. So we're putting 3 people on call. They're going to be on call for 8-hour blocks, and let's start them at 8 o'clock in the morning. So now we've got a great roster schedule set there for that on-call team. But what we might want to do is we might want to add a second tier to that roster. So in case someone misses the escalation, that it will automatically be raised to a second tier, and you can have confidence that that issue is going to get picked up and looked at. So let's say we'll escalate after 1 minute, and then we'll build out a second tier. And so we can put the same people on that second tier, offset them in their assignment a little bit. So we've got the same DBA team, but two sets of possible people who can pick up an issue in case the first person doesn't get there in time. And so you can see the schedule builds out again, and we've got a nice little schedule of people on call. So once that's done, what can we do with it? So if we go to an issue, we've got a problem, and again, a database is down, we can now take that issue and we can escalate that to our DBA team. That is now immediately assigned to the on-call person. They've got a HipChat notification, and they can start working away at it. So once an escalation starts, we track all of the events that happen for that escalation. You can see the full audit history. This is great for post-incident reviews, things like that. So we'll wait a minute and see what happens after a minute of leaving this escalation unacknowledged. So that's what we've set our timeout to. So as the minute passes, that escalation is now going to be picked up and automatically escalated to your tier 2 roster. HipChat again notifications will get everyone looking at it. So we can now acknowledge that escalation, we can complete that escalation, and we can see that there's some statistics that have been captured. So we've got the time to acknowledge and time to complete. So those stats are tracked then at a roster level, so you can track performance of your teams. You've got the mean time to acknowledge, mean time to complete. And again, you've then got that full audit history for every escalation. Great for post-incident reviews. So Elevator for JIRA also works really well with JIRA Service Desk. So within JIRA Service Desk, you get all of the same functionality. Within a service desk queue, you can open up an issue, perform escalations. There's a custom field that lets you surface escalation statuses and build JIRA Service Desk queues around the escalations. And you can also use Elevator for JIRA within automation. So here's an automation rule. So an issue being created, if it's a high severity blocker or critical issue, then automatically escalate that issue. So that's the demo. Talk a little bit about what's up next. So it's great to get the Codegeist win under the belt. We've got a lot of great things coming. So working more on our notifications, so integrating to notify HipChat groups, as well as phone and SMS. So on the incident management side of things, it's really the phone call or the SMS message that's going to wake someone up at 2 in the morning if there's a real problem. Also working to support more complex roster scenarios, things like follow the sun, as well as building out more audit and reporting capability. So come and say hi. As Luke said, this has been a bit of a whirlwind tour. I don't have a booth, but I'll be around after this talk, so I'd love to chat to anyone who's interested. Start a trial. We'd love to get your feedback on the product. Thank you very much.
Okay. Our last presentation for this is Snapshot. We have Sasha here from the Ukraine. Snapshot won our Codegeist for most popular add-on. So it was a popular vote, and they won it by almost 100 votes to the next add-on. So congratulations to Snapshot for the Codegeist win, and I'd like to show you off what it does.
Hello. So my name is Sasha. I'm from Snapshot, as Luke already mentioned, but I just want to ask you a few questions. How many people there are dealing with Confluence on a regular basis? Oh, how many people need to create content within Confluence? It's a perfect tool for collaboration, right? But when it comes to creating, and it actually means writing and doing screenshots, uploading the stuff to the Confluence instance, it takes a lot of time. You just bought your Confluence instance and you are really happy with that, but it's empty. There is no content inside, and you have a lot of procedures to actually document. It's business procedures, it's process documentation, it's software guides, and all of that stuff is on a regular basis. For instance, you just finished your ERP or CRM integration within your company. Now you need to create onboarding. Or you are a partner who just implemented JIRA for a new client, and you need those people to adopt JIRA. And there is something that you need to leave after your engagement that is just more tangible than a simple document with a few lines. So that is why we built Snapshot for Confluence. Some users already waiting for documentation. Let's get back and see how we can deal with content creation with Snapshot. You start from the Confluence page, create our template, which automatically will launch native application on your desktop. Now, native application is able to get the name of a new step-by-step guide or manual you would like to create. You start capturing the process, and now each time you click on your screen, on software, on web page, on desktop native application, software automatically produces a screenshot and generates text instructions of what was done on the desktop. At the second, it's just adding the language to a set of languages on your desktop, and each mouse click produces this log of images automatically, and you can see it can be hundreds of those. Then you can edit each specific screenshot by adding annotations, blurring regions, highlighting regions, adding arrows, and we have this pretty good smart crop feature, which would allow you to cut all the blank areas, not around the screenshot, but within the screenshot. So it saves you time, it saves your space on a server. Then you just need to highlight. You see the text is automatically generated, like clean on language, etc., etc. It can be captured within the web applications on the desktop. So if you need to document your software, if you need to document your add-ons, if you need to document any procedures, this is the way to start. Because it's very fast, you execute only once, you're a subject matter expert, you always have no time to document. All these people from onboarding, from HR, asking how to use this software. This is the solution. You just execute the procedure once, and it's already there, documented. You have a lot of settings to modify actually capturing experience. You can record screen regions, active window, full screen screenshots. You can add sections, so it's perfect for runbooks. For instance, here is the first section you need to execute. If it didn't help you within Confluence or within JIRA Service Desk as a knowledge base article, you can get to the next section. When you are finished, you need just to press the Publish button, which is seamless experience that would allow you to push all the content all together back to Confluence without uploading number of screenshots back to the web page. You have these titles, descriptions, you have sections, and the layout of the actual page is templated. So you can modify all this stuff in one template, and you can have this page look as it's supposed to within your department, within your organization. So use cases, it's onboarding, it's support, it's development, it's even exploratory testing, it's training, education. So if you need to educate your customers, etc., etc., this is the time you should discover Snapshot. So as far as we launched only a week ago, and we're part of this Code-Gaze competition, we really have very low installation base. So if you would download our software right now, and you will start using and will buy the software by the end of the year, we will give 50% discount. Just reach out to us and mention that we've met at... Okay, that's good. For experts, we would like to propose additional possibilities to take a look at the software, start using it internally for free, just to discover how training can be powered with our software within the expert infrastructure, and then propose to their clients. Thank you very much for your time. Sasha from Snapshot. I'll be there.
Okay, so thank you everybody for coming to this. I actually am going to ask my presenters to come back up to the stage here quickly, because we do have a few minutes here for some Q&A. So if you have some questions, please put your hand up and I will do it, and you guys can just pass the microphone to who you want to talk to. So hands up for questions. At the back.
So I have a quick question for this Snapshot. Which software are you using to edit the screenshot after you finish the screenshot?
So it's our own client. It's native client. Right now, it supports Windows. Within a month, we will release a version for Mac. So we will support both operational systems. And it's our own software that is part of this solution.
What? Okay. Questions? Oh, okay.
Run, Luke, run.
Okay. Question? Yeah.
So on the Snapshot there, how can you edit inline, like if one or two screens in the middle needed to change? Do you have to go through the whole thing again, or can you just grab the next, one or two things?
So what do you need afterwards? Just to replace one screenshot, yeah? Yeah. So if you have already captured the process and you are just, you can remove, delete any screenshots within this client before you publish this to Confluence. So you can do like add 100 additional screenshots that were not captured by our software, replace any capture that was done. So it's completely possible. And if you already publish this to Confluence and you need to replace one screenshot, then you would just need to use usual procedure how you would replace it within Confluence. It's a native page without any additional players, anything like that. So.
But what if you come in like months later and then the process, there's 5 or 10 more screens in the middle of that process? Should you just start from the beginning, or can you insert multiple steps later
At the
on?
second view, it's not it's not possible to insert several steps in the middle, but you can capture the screenshots with Snapshot and then just paste it into the Confluence page.
Thank you.
Question for Backbone Sync. So how many instances of JIRA do you support? Only 2 or more?
You mean in integrating different JIRA instances?
Yeah.
Basically, you always define an integration between 2 projects, but each project can be integrated with multiple projects again. So you can set it up to synchronize multiple JIRA instances at the same time.
Okay, any limitation on that, or?
Not really.
Okay.
Any more? Oh, jeez. Okay. Mind just not wave your hand high if I can't see you. Okay. Oh. No.
Sorry. Backbone for JIRA. So when you're syncing, have you noticed any performance issues between?
Wait, they can't hear you at the
one
back.
and next?
Use the mic.
In the back. Okay. I'm just asking about performance issues between syncing with JIRAs.
The short answer is no. The longer one, the slow one in this case, it's the synchronization detects changes based on a JQL query, which is executed in an interval you define. So the load you get on a server is basically the same as you get by searching. We have thread pools organizing how many integrations can synchronize at the same point in time. If some integration is still synchronizing but hitting kind of the limit where it should synchronize again, it's queued up. So the short answer, no, it scales.
Okay. Any more? Oh, yep.
For the backbone, does it only synchronize on the create issue?
It depends how you configure it. So what we've seen in the video, the answer is yes. But you can also limit or filter the issues which fall under the synchronization condition, defining an additional JQL. So if you don't want to have this behavior and you say, maybe just if I reached a certain workflow state or a custom field has a specific value, like having a partner set as a component, and whenever you hit that component, you synchronize it to the partner, that's also possible.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for coming, and we'll see you tomorrow at the next sessions.